Hi, Taurus. Welcome. This is your January 2025 reading, Capricorn season reading. And all information to work with me one-on-one is below. The Patreon reading will be in the first link below. You can also get this on the Patreon as well. You get it there first, the general, and then the extended. Then, as I've been saying, be on the lookout because there will be more things to come. So all of that is below. Taurus. If you're feeling, regardless if you're feeling one way or another, there's still this deep connection that you may be feeling. And if it's something that you don't know well enough, I would let yourself and give yourself the opportunity to feel into this energy right now. That's just the first place I want to start. But then we're going to let the cards speak. Ooh, Three of Pentacles. And the Tower. Interesting. Ooh, I'm going to look at the notes I have for you as well. Okay. We'll take a look at those as we need to. So, the Three of Pentacles and the Tower. First two cards out. I'm going to talk a little bit about manifesting because I think that's what you deeply are you're discovering that deeply within you, like what you really truly want. Uranus is going to be moving out of your sign finally. So the change to come is more calm. This is speaking to the parts of yourself in a way, not only the parts of yourself, but the others in value. You may have a lot more value than you realize to give. And regardless, the way that you're intending your life, the way that you're speaking into your life, the way you're speaking, meaning to yourself, whether out loud or not, your body can hear you. And that's something I deeply want you to know more than ever now. So pay attention to how you speak to yourself, how you speak to others, where you're more generous to them as opposed to yourself, where you don't allow yourself to be vulnerable. This is about sharing something that is valuable to you, which can be vulnerable, but it also can change your life. It's funny because on New Year's, where I am and where some people were, there was a thunderstorm right away at 12. Whether you celebrate or not, it's very interesting. Because I'm going to say that here, yes, people are falling, chaos is happening, the crown is open, literally the crown on top of the tower. And the change is drastic. So the way that you're speaking to people, yourself, into your life, like honestly, right? Being very honest with yourself. That's what's going to make the changes in the long run this month and this season and this year. We'll pick also, I'm going to pull the year ahead for you down at the end, like the theme of the year. So being able to not only speak but feel deeply what you're saying, what you're giving, because for some of you this is also realizing that you do have something to say more than ever. Throat, Taurus rules the throat, but what you're saying and where you're going with what you're saying is setting you up. Lightning is intuition and inspiration and the psychic awareness, but you have to be very careful about your information because having such a connected psychic awareness is very powerful, You have this powerful sense of the self. Thunder is the dramatic moments and dramatic changes that are feeling like a stampede running through your life. And then lightning is that psychic inspiration or insight, right? One of those things. Now, the Emperor has been very prominent, at least in a couple readings. I've only done a few anyway. I'm going to do a little bit of far ahead because in your 12th house, there will be Neptune will be transiting that during the course of the year. And the nodes will finally be coming out of that placement for you. And it's your 12th house. So things have been kind of on fire for a while, and now Neptune. So I think I see that the reason why I'm connecting those two is because it's very powerful to where Neptune will progress into your life, and it will be a longer transit, but you will feel it, and you'll feel it right when it happens. It happens in like March or April. I don't have the exact date on me, but that time is when you'll notice a shift that will be a theme throughout the course of your life. So getting really clear on your intentions and your values and speaking them also keeps you accountable, also keeps it powerful, also keeps you front facing. There's a lot also about this, because the node is leaving Aries and entering, the true node is leaving Aries and entering Pisces in just a few days. And we have Venus entering Pisces too. So it's this defining, so Taurus risings, and this is defining a lot about your physicality, about a lot about your vitality, your life force, the energy that you have to give, the value that you have to offer, it's not just who you appear to be, it's how you show up in a room, but then your sun sign gives it more emphasis. So Taurus suns, you'll be deeply connecting to some kind of destiny, a deeper sense of purpose, how that relates to yourself and the self-healing that you do, and how that has created the values that you have, and how that projects out into the world, and what you also see that comes back to you. Taurus moons, and it also shows you where you're growing to, and also your ego, because this is also about your ego as well, and about showing up in a way that of course is vulnerable, but it's who you are, and you have the strength. And I had, as a Taurus rising, physicality, I had my boyfriend is training me at the gym, and I haven't done heavy weights in a long time. I used to, but I haven't done like this kind of stuff in a long time. I take care of myself in other ways, but other than that, he says you don't realize how strong you are. You're not pushing yourself hard enough. And he's a Mars rule sign, so I just think he's like a Scorpio trying to push me, and it's not. He just sees something that I can't. So I'm seeing something for you that maybe you don't know, how headstrong you are, how much you know, how much is available to you with what you have right now. And it's really important to understand that, because Taurus moons, this is about this perhaps underneath inspiration and something you've been passionate about, and you're finally reconnecting to it, and you're realizing you're underdriving for the forces that drive you. Sorry, not underdriving. The forces that drive you to do anything or not do things, right? The learning about self-control, the balance of self-control and inertia, right? Learning about how you get to yourself to a place where you have to, like, over and over again, see yourself where you are, because you may, so the thing about, and this is relates to that, I just don't always know how to segue when intuition arises. The thing about it is, Taurus, is that when you find that balance, I don't know if it's a fear of always having to be that person, or fear that people are going to keep you locked in that place, or a fear of being too vulnerable and people to see you, but you don't realize that when you don't do that enough, you hold on to things. You can hold on physically, mentally, emotionally, depending on the area, or sun, moon, and rising for sure. And you don't realize how much that impacts you physically, because you are sensitive, and you're meant to transform as you are the spring. If we go through the seasons, you do an underneath transformation, and then spring comes and you're blooming, right? So if you're not allowing yourself to bloom, or you're not giving yourself enough space, or maybe you're overindulging when you could be, you know that you could be a little more disciplined, but you're comfortable in the place that you are, it's all fine and dandy. But underneath it all, if it's not a part of your values, it's not a part of who you really see yourself as and believe yourself to be, it's going to show up as a problem over and over again. This is for anyone, but we're talking about you right now. And it's going to be a fantastic year. And I would like, because it's the start energy, I mean, who knows, right? But the start energy is very neutral. And I think it's getting you to neutral as well. Not to see any of these things as bad or good, or I need to do this because I don't, if it's about loving yourself more, do it while loving yourself more. Right? Venusian wave, it's all about healing. I don't talk about it enough, but it's like transformation through love. What, like unconditional love, like where can you, ooh, this one like came out all whimsically. You know, sometimes, Taurus, I've realized when you hold back love, it's your fear of being vulnerable. Even you who's like so giving, you have this ability that if you don't feel protected, or it's a response from, you know, your life perhaps, and like when you don't give love, it can get it's like pent up energy, it's pent up love, it's pent up passion, it's pent up romance. Let yourself have fun and be free of that, especially if it's keeping you in your head too much. Let yourself be inspired. Let yourself free, especially, yeah, if it's pent up in your mind. How interesting. In your mind. It's helping you get out of your mind. It's helping you realize how much maybe you've been in there. Okay, this is a lot of cards. We're not pulling out all these cards just so you saw them. We want to get clear for Taurus. If those need to come out again, they will. We're going to get a little clearer than that for Taurus. More sword cards. Boundaries with your mind. And also about with, one, how far you've come. I want you to pay attention to how far you've come. Because the nature of cycles is to show us like especially with your, if you have stelliums, and that's just astrologically language speaking to any areas where they may come easy, but those stelliums also may have a lot of lessons, whatever you have to learn. Your rising signs, your moon, your sun, moon, and rising is all about the lessons that we're learning. They're the very close lessons, getting us to a place of acceptance, I believe, more than ever. This acceptance for our experience, that your cycles are your cycles. So in your mind, what will help this, you recognize, so because you can have a tendency, not always, but right, but your sign is, there's so much generalization around each sign. Although the truth is that you can get in there, and sometimes you can stay there, and you don't have to smoke weed to, you know, kind of paralyze yourself. If you don't have supportive planets that actually get you going, right? If this is really what you're overcoming, you get this inspiration, and then it shows you how much you've been living maybe in here, even in moments when you're supposed to be enjoying and feeling life. You now realize you need to create boundaries around the mental process, and that will notice, also, you'll start to notice how people talk to you and treat you, because those things are connected. Whether you avoid saying things or not, and sometimes it's just like wrong place, wrong time, or right place, right time. But you notice that this mental boundary that you're creating for yourself, so that whenever, and like, it doesn't mean like you need to be hard on yourself, but every time something comes up, recognizing, oh, this is just protecting me in some kind of way, because the brain just wants to protect you, but your body needs you to pay attention. Your body needs you, because your body takes the hit, right? You're so smart, you're so capable, you lead without recognizing. It's because you lead by action. So even if you're not a leader in your place of work or in your life somewhere, you're leading your life. And the way you show up has that kind of vibe. And so the more you get clear about what you allow in your mind and yourself to process, but also this is all about your intuition. And we have the Emperor, so we have a lot of higher chakras that we're talking about. And I think that, and even though the Emperor is red, which is a lower chakra color, you're connecting that energy from the root, from your root, from who you are. You're seeing who you are and who you're not anymore. You may like different things. You may feel inspired in different ways. You may feel re-inspired even in your own line of work, in your love as well. You may feel very re-inspired and reignited and re-energized, renewed, invigorated at this time of life. But it's not without your own mental focus. It's not without your own decision behind it. And the High Priestess is here to say that it's because your intuition wants to speak loud and clear. There's a lot of creation that wants to come out of you. There's a lot that wants to move through you, and your mind needs to be able to have rest and ease for this to come through you. Too many cards for the end of the year. A lot of pressure being taken off you. If you haven't experienced that in a while, it will feel new to get used to, unless you're like super, like have been waiting for it and it's easier for you, like jump into it, but that's not more likely for a Taurus. So your intuition wants to reach you every day. So if you can try to be a little bit more intuitive about your day, maybe changing things around, allowing for to be flexible in certain ways, but also to be disciplined with what you need, especially when you know you might be at burnout, because we are in the Earth sign season. Lots of ideas want to come your way. And if you're feeling like frazzled, again, create that boundary. Do what you need to do. Get intuition. Do you need to do something creative? Do you need to do something physical? Year ahead. Do you need to do something for you? And then we have you at the bottom. I love that. Year ahead. It's been so nice. They've been coming out in threes, weirdly enough, as this is a year 9. And if you know your like personal number, you just add it to the year number, the year 9, because we also have like your perfection year. So depending on your age, you're in a certain perfection year where you're going, like that house in general is specific for your chart. But if you know your numerology, you can add your personal number to the year number, and then if you need to add them again together, you come up with your personal year number for you specifically. And then we have like 9 is the general for the macro, and so like you're the micro. So if you're curious if that made sense at all, I love it. So 10 of Pentacles, 2 of Cups, Queen of Cups. This is legacy building, momentum building. This isn't just commitment. This is a deeper devotion. For some of you, you're connecting with literally something physical, about something that you love and you're devoted to and committed to, and it transforms you emotionally. You may feel over time this year more like yourself in a way that you haven't felt in a while. Like I said, halfway through the year, Uranus transits, it's going to feel somewhat of relief. It gives you more in a time when money is it's like such a great thing that happens, that we have the first house, which is the identity, self-vitality, learning about the past like 8 years. You've been learning about extending yourself, how much you can do, how fast you can go, how well you can recover, how your emotions handle it, how it impacts what you say, feel, who you're around, how much alone time you've needed, food consumption, stimulation. You've been probably thinking about all of these things for the past, so long. And now you're in a place where you have a little bit more freedom, then a lot more freedom, and you feel more rested in yourself, and you feel how life is just moving and you're responding to it. You're receiving in a way, which we talked about being vulnerable, is going to help you towards the end of the year when you need to receive. When you need to receive what you've put out there. Where some people who do who are known widely, because you may become widely known, and how deeply secure you feel. So that's that first house, feeling more secure in yourself. And then it moves into second house, which is all about money, resources, and talents. You'll feel more comfortable experimenting with the idea of that, even if it's under the guise of one career, under the guise of one thing that you do or a couple things that you do. You feel like you can experiment under that more. You can make more money. You might have more energy for that because you've done so much work. You've learned so much. You're tapping more into your intuition that guides you forward to making more money choices. You may have commitments and contracts that you have that you're upholding, that you feel so secure about and steadfast about. Yeah, I just keep hearing like it starts with the legacy, but it ends up being more about devotion. How you see yourself, it's lifestyle. How you feel about yourself. How you feel about your choices. The acceptance of what it takes to create something. And also learning that like that deeper acceptance and that deeper understanding, Taurus, the patience that you have actually just makes, it's like you don't want to skate by, but it helps you skate by some things. It helps your luck, right? You notice like that what happens to you may not happen to everyone, and you notice how you want to share your energy and depending on with who and what people honor you. There's just so much more awareness and understanding. It's like, it's not just this awareness that you tap into, it's something that you know. There's such a deeper knowing and connection with your brain and who you are. I can't emphasize that enough. That you see more and more about yourself as the year goes on. This devotion to yourself and to who you are and to who you're becoming always comes into play, and being more vulnerable, allowing yourself to be seen, creating those boundaries and noticing that when that comes up and how that gets in your mind, and knowing that you really have so much healing that you've done. And this end of the month too, when Chiron moves out of or goes direct in your 12th house, it will be, I think it will feel even more like a relief. Because it's like you've constantly been revealing yourself, but this is like for you. Like you really feel yourself different and moving differently in the world, and you feel this shaping coming together, and you can tell and you notice, and you're able to freely be yourself. And that is what I want you to see this year. Whatever you put out there, whatever you decide to do in your life, it's about being deeply connected to who you are, and knowing that if you decide to change, it's something that you do every year. If there's something you put out there and there's art that you put out there, it can still change over time. But this connection to yourself, this receptivity that's out here is quite beautiful, very expansive. You could get a promotion. You could go somewhere and make more money. This is about emotional and financial stability. And you may learn to invest your money more. You may find that your intuition helps you with that, or, have more adventures, whatever it is that you want. You just know that everything is moving as it should, or as it needs to be. This is a very prosperous year for you, and very much a glowing year for you, I would say. As long as you're committed to yourself. So anytime you feel the disconnect, just come back to yourself. What are your values? What do you want to add? What makes you feel deeply connected? Maybe something changes. Maybe you've been thinking about doing something. Listen to your intuition. Maybe you have a whole new avenue that opens up to you this year that actually connects everything, but you didn't even think of it, or it's something, whatever it is, just allow, be more open. Know that this Tower moment is just changing you, and it's showing you who you are and how you show up, and just showing you a little bit about your ego and how to keep understanding it, and how it's helping you and how it's not, right, in some ways. So I'm just like really loving how long my hair looks right now. Anyway, the growth. Okay, Taurus, we will talk more in the next part. In the second part, we'll get more into this reading. And that will be on Patreon, so you can take that out. Check that out below. All information to work with me one-on-one, payment options, scheduling, all of that is below. We'll see you next time, Taurus. Happy New Year.